everyone, I'm Dr. J. I'm a clinical psychologist specializing in transgender care. Welcome to my channel. Today I want to make a video about potential problems you might be anticipating, you might be thinking about, that you may encounter as a result of transitioning, and how to look at them differently so that way they don't become an impediment in you deciding to move forward with your transition. And this video arose out of a conversation I had with a client of mine where we talked about this, because there was a person who told this individual that if they are going to transition, especially medically through surgeries, they will anticipate certain problems. So what kind of problems am I talking about? Well, it's the type of problem that everybody tends to chime in and tell you that you might encounter as a result of transition, and they could be loss of male privilege, loss of some other type of privileges that you may have had, loss of employment, that you're going to be objectified and sexualized if you're transitioning to a feminine spectrum. You're going to be you're never going to feel enough if you are transitioning to a masculine spectrum. You are never going to feel complete. You are never going to be enough. You are never going to be passable. People are going to look at you as lesser than because you are transgender. So any kind of problems that people tend to come up and tend to tell you. Usually I find it that the people who are trying to warn you against the problems tend to fall in the category of either cisgender people who are experienced those things themselves, and they are shooting it as a warning label, or it's transgender people themselves. So regardless of who is telling you those things, it can really impede your decision to transition, because when we're hearing people telling us the problems we're going to encounter, it's never pleasant. And our mind, as a machine, likes to grasp and hold on to those problems, and our mind likes to clench onto them and then spin out this narrative of you never being able to transition as a result of them. Anticipating problems, anticipating ideas of things, of struggles, I should say, anticipating obstacles is naturally normal, because life is one big obstacle. Everybody encounters some kind of obstacle in their life, I guarantee you. It's just for some people, their obstacles seem to be bigger in proportion to other people's obstacles. But everybody always is going to encounter obstacles. Life without obstacles is just not life. It doesn't happen. So obstacles are normal. And in fact, anticipating and thinking about some of the obstacles in relationship to transition is not a bad thing, because that can actually help you have realistic expectation. And it can also help you to navigate and to create resources you need in order to cope when those things are going to come. What you don't want to do is you don't want those future problems become impediments preventing you from transitioning. And here's one way to look at it. The way I like to usually look at it, and this is what I like to tell my clients, is that you're going to have problems. I'm going to have problems. We're all going to have problems. No matter what, we're always going to have problems. Problems are always going to be there. I rather have problems in my future that are more in alignment with who I am. That way, at least, I will have some level of enjoyment in solving them, because I know that I am on the way to who I am, versus having problems in disalignment with who I am. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So for some of you, for all of you, I hope, I would rather for you to have problems and obstacles. I want to use the word obstacles. I don't like the word problems. Obstacles. Obstacles that are going to be in relationship to you transitioning and you becoming who you are, versus for you to continue to have obstacles with gender dysphoria in relationship to the incongruency you're suffering right now. In other words, the problems are always going to be there, no matter what. Here, you're choosing obstacles that are more in alignment to your past, more in alignment with who you are, more in alignment to where you're going. Here, the obstacles are in disalignment. They're not congruent. And so I personally rather would be solving this type of obstacles and overcoming them than this ones, because this ones will lead me much more closer to my wholeness and my individuation as a human being, versus this ones over here. Does that make sense? So in other words, to use myself as an example, I love what I do. I love working with transgender population. I love working with gender diverse people. I love working with people who are uncertain about their gender identity. I love helping them figure out where or what their gender identity is. I love helping you figuring out what to do and how to transition if transition is for you. I love doing all of that. That's all I do. That's all I breathe. That's my primary specialty. And of course I have obstacles within my career. Absolutely, there's always obstacles. But at least I'm solving obstacles that are in alignment with who I am. And once I solve them, they make me feel proud, they make me feel happy, they elevate me as well, because I'm one more step closer to really being the person that I am. Versus if I was doing something I absolutely don't like. Versus if I was, for example, specializing in some other type of specialties that I don't care for, and frankly, I actually don't really care for any other type of specialties. So let's say if I wasn't a psychologist working with gender diverse people, let's say that I was a chef in a restaurant and I hated being a chef in a restaurant, I would still have obstacles. And every time I would have an obstacle, well, guess what? I would meet those obstacles with resistance, because I not only hate the obstacle, but I also hate what I do. So that's kind of spirals and makes me very negative individual. Versus over here, at least I'll be living solving my obstacles, because again, they are on a path of who I am. So to sum it up, you are going to have obstacles. Life without obstacles does not exist. All of us are going to have obstacles. And once you're going to be down dealing with gender dysphoria and you're going to achieve congruency you seek, there's going to be other obstacles. There's going to be other obstacles in relationship to other things. Because you're always going to have obstacles, and we always have obstacles, you might as well choose obstacles more in alignment with who you are. Might as well choose obstacles on a course towards who you are versus away from who you are. Don't let people telling you what obstacles you're going to encounter as barriers to you becoming who you are. Look at them as opportunity and say, yes, there will be obstacles, and yes, I will overcome those obstacles. Right now, I'm struggling with one big obstacle right here, which is gender dysphoria, but at least here, you will be moving away from that. So hopefully this is helpful. It's always helpful when we start thinking and we start looking differently at some of the blockages, some of the resistances, some of the walls that we have around us that impede us from moving forward. Once we start seeing them differently, it can be really helpful, because we start conceptualizing them differently. Our inner narrative, our story, how we talk about it, starts to change. And when we see it differently, we're able to approach it differently, and then we're able to change our life. So comment below, let me know, what are your current obstacles? If you're afraid of obstacles of transition, does this help you to embrace it even more? This idea that you're going to have obstacles no matter what, but at least here you're going to have obstacles toward movement of who you are. Comment below, let me know. I'd love to hear your comments, and I'll see you guys all next time. Bye.